Here with Little Miss Meg's Makeup, and today I have a contour video for you guys. I posted on Twitter that I was debating some videos and you guys definitely responded right away with a contour video. So I decided to do one that is a little bit easier, and stuff you can get at the drugstore could totally work for this look. So you don't need high-end products to do this. I just wanted to do something that would make your face look absolutely flawless and make your contour look amazing and have some nice highlight and just really accentuate your guys' faces. So first off, I want to tell you guys what contouring and highlighting is. Contour and highlight is the push and pull of your face. So when you're highlighting, you are pulling features forward. This is the pull of your face. But when you are contouring, you are adding that push to your face. So by pushing your face, you're adding that push to your cheekbones. So it's where you would want to push back. So the sides of your nose, you would want to push in or back, so that way your nose will look straighter. Under your chin, you would want to push back, so that way your face looks a little bit slimmer. You want to push where if we did have super prominent cheekbones, we would have that shadow. So that's where we're going to be pushing in to create that shadow. Now, speaking of shadows, a contour shade is similar to a shadow shade. Under our jawline, naturally shadows more of a gray toned brown. Not a black or gray eyeshadow. I'm not talking like crazy gray. I'm just talking like a gray toned brown. Now, a bronzer is a warm toned brown, meaning to add a tan or warmth to your skin. So you're adding that warmth to your skin. So a lot of people say like how to contour with a bronzer, or which bronzers are best for contouring, and that doesn't make sense. That's not correct. So when you're saying that you're going to contour your face with a bronzer, you're using a warm tone, a tan tone, to add warmth to your skin in that contour where that should be that shadow if you had prominent cheekbones. So that's just a little tip for you guys. So always use a cool tone shadow when you're contouring. You could totally mix your bronzer and contour into your routine, which I do, and you guys will see how I do that because I'm adding warmth to my skin. I need to have that warmth to my skin because I am so pale. But when I contour, I'm adding a slight shadow to my cheeks, to my forehead, because I have a pretty big forehead, to my nose to make it look similar, and my jawline. So it's just some little tricks there. So you guys always remember that you do not contour with a bronzer. Sometimes people will say, well, what if my bronzer is cool toned? Well, if your bronzer is cool toned, then it's not a bronzer. A bronzer is a warm tone. It adds warmth, a tan to your skin. A cool tone does not add warmth or a tan to your skin at all. So if you have a cool tone bronzer, either it's labeled wrong or that's just genuinely not a bronzer. That would be more of a contour shade. If it does have that cool bluish undertone, then it is a contour. If it does have that warm orangey undertone, then it is a bronzer. So cool and warm. Make sure you have those separated, but they do work together on your face. But you are fooling your eye with a contour, which is a cool tone with shadows. So you are tricking and manipulating how your eyes are seeing someone's face with a contour. So if you guys want to see how I did my contouring, then go ahead and just keep watching. So for starting out your highlight, we're going to start with a cream highlight. So this normally means that we're going to be using a lighter concealer, a lighter foundation, or a contour and highlight stick that I'm throwing around. So today I'm choosing to use my Tarte Creaseless Concealer. This is a 12-hour wear. I have the color Fair right here. It's just like a little pen. It's quite a thick concealer, but I do really like the color of this. This is quite brightening for my skin tone. Another really good one that I like is the NYX Contour Stick, and this is in the light one. So I'm just applying this under my eyes in a triangle-ish form due to me wanting to bring this part of my face forward. Our eye naturally finds, I'm going to go ahead and highlight the center of my face as well. We naturally are gravitated towards flat surfaces, meaning we find these flat surfaces more attractive, if that makes sense. So when we see a flat face, as in like right here, being more flat, we find that naturally more attractive than a like rounded, super rounded cheek. That is why a lot of people do contour and highlight. I'm throwing everything everywhere, man. Come on. So the product I'm going to be using to blending this out, I'm obsessed with this brush. It looks like a toothbrush, kind of. This is the Oh Wow brush from Jaclyn Cosmetics, and I absolutely love Jaclyn Cosmetics. And this brush is so thick that it almost feels like a sponge. It is that thick. It is super densely packed, and I'm just obsessed with it. It's shaped like a teardrop, so I can get it right in to the inner corner of my eye. So I'm just going to use this to blend out my highlights. And how I use this brush is I just put it on and slightly flick out. And it just blends it so seamlessly. And this concealer is super, super thick. So that's how you can tell this is a nice brush, because it's really blending out all the thick concealer. It looks extremely blended out, so I love this. So I'm going to go on my chin too. So I like to put highlight on my chin to pull my chin forward a little bit, give my chin a little bit more prominence, make it look a little bit cuter. In my Cupid's bow, I'm going to fake a fuller lip you will see shortly, and my nose. So I just like to highlight the bridge of my nose. I think that is beautiful, and I love that this brush is so densely packed that I can just slide it on over. And if I want to blend all this out and into my forehead too, I'm going to take that brush and go right where my contour would be. I'm going to slide that down. So I'm just taking any leftover product and applying that under my contour, and I'm already sharpening our contour before applying. To start our contour, I'm going to go ahead and use my NYX Wonder Stick or Contour Stick. These are really, really nice. They're not too expensive, so it's awesome if you guys want to go ahead and pick this up and use this. So we're going to just find the cheekbone. You can feel the hollow right here. So what we're going to be doing is adding the push and pull to our face. So now we are pushing on our face. So we're going to push this part of our cheekbone in. And I don't want to bring it too far forward, because if I do, I end up with this awkward line connecting like almost towards your mouth, and I think it just looks a little odd. So I'm just going to slightly brush some little feather hairs forward just so I have a little bit more to blend out. So I'm pushing this back, giving you guys the illusion that I have a more prominent cheekbone. So I'm going to take that contour again. I have a larger forehead, as you guys can see here, so I like to just shave that down a little. So I'm just going to add some lines right here. So basically, it's not really about like your lines. Like you could do circles, you could do squiggles. That's why people do such different stuff on social media. They do crazy stuff because all it matters is where the product is being placed. So you can really like write your name right here if you wanted, because the product is still being placed on your temple. So I just do that, and when I blend this, I'm going to connect the two. Then I do like to fake a fuller lip. I don't have the fullest lips, but I would love to have the chance to have those Kylie Jenner lips. So I'm going to go ahead and take that and go right under my lip. So I'm adding that shadow to make my lip look like it's pulled out and plump, and it's just going to make my lips look a lot fuller. So we're going to contour our nose as most people do. So what I do for my nose is I just draw a straight line down to both sides, and I like to shave the bottom a little, because I think it is super attractive when people's noses are slightly upturned. I think that is so cute and just feminine and beautiful, and I love that. For you guys with the wider bottom of your nose, you would mostly contour the wide part, leaving the bridge of your nose just a slider, just not as much contour, but as your nose gets thicker, you're going to take that contour and pull it back slightly, because there are natural shadows on the sides of our nose. Now if you do have a wider bridge and a shorter ball of your nose, then you could definitely shadow out the bridge a little bit more, and that will make that look thinner. And don't do the ball as much, because that will even it out. So if your nose is shaped like this, you're going to contour up here more, so when that contour is placed, it looks more like this. So if it's heavier here, you're going to contour the bottom more towards your nostrils, and that's going to pull it in and fool someone else's eyes to thinking that you have a straighter nose. Isn't this awesome? I know. It's pretty cool. Then I'm going to go back with my little baby here. I'm going to use my Jaclyn brush to go ahead and blend out this contour. Again, this blends out cream products so well, so that's why I tend to gravitate towards this brush. As you can see, I already shaved down my forehead slightly. So then for my contour, I'm just going to flick up at the cheek. So kind of just how we applied our contour at first. And as you can see, that's already blending that out. We don't want to pull our contour shade down at all. We don't want to pull it into the lower part of our jaw here, because we want our contour to stay up and stay hugging our cheekbones. Like my contour looks seamless. I love it. So once we applied all of our cream contour and our face is already starting that definition, we're going to go ahead and set all this. We want this to stay all day. We want our contour to look flawless and natural. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is set all the highlighted areas with my NYX HD finishing powder. This is in the shade Banana, and it is an HD powder, so I really enjoy that because I do a lot of photo shoots and stuff like that. And if you're going to go anywhere that people are going to be taking pictures of you, you don't want to have that ugly under eye flashback that makes you look like a white little baby or ghost. So I'm just setting all those areas, again pulling more prominence to them as well. Now that we're done highlighting, I'm going to go ahead and add some more definition to my face. So I'm going to be using the Park Avenue Princess Bronzer Blush and Highlight Trio, and I'm going to go ahead with this bronzing shade. With this shade, I'm not contouring, I'm adding a bronze, I'm adding color to my face. When you are bronzing your face, a bronzer is meant to have a warm undertone. I'm just going to go over my cheekbones here. A bronzer is supposed to have a warm undertone. That means it brings warmth to your skin and is bronzing up your face. It's adding color to your face. That is not the same thing as a contour. A contour is more of a cool tone. It's going to add a shadow to your face. It's going to fool the eye into thinking there's something there that is not, or something is more prominent that is not. A bronzer is just to add color to my face. So it's just to add a little bit of sun-kissedness back in, especially because I'm so pale. I like to add a little bit of color back. Next, to actually sharpen up my contour, I'm going to go ahead and in with a contour powder. This is the NYX High Definition Blush in Taupe. It is not a blush, it is a contour shade. It's just under their High Definition Blush line. As you guys can see, this color is quite cool tone, meaning it's going to add a shadow under my jawline, making it look like I have more prominent cheeks. So I'm going to go ahead and use this big fluffy brush. This is a large fluff from Sigma. This is the E50. So I'm going to go ahead and take that brush, flip it upside down. I'm just going to lightly draw in the hollow of my cheek. So I'm just adding some slight contour here. You want to have a very light hand with contouring to make it still natural and flawless. I do like to have a very light hand with this. Go ahead and shimmy that brush up, literally just shaking that brush up my hairline. And I'm just blending that in. And then I'm going to just swipe it from my cheekbone so it acts as that little shadow I would have if I had really prominent cheekbones, which I don't, but I wish I did, because I mean that would be awesome, right? So then I'm going to take that contour shade as well, shading under a lip, faking that shadow again. Then we're going to slightly go down the sides of our nose, very, very lightly. We don't want a harsh nose contour. That wouldn't be cool. It would look too fake. So I know I'm filming a contour and highlight video, but I know that blush isn't necessarily contouring or highlight, but I feel like it plays a large part in how my face turns out. So I feel like it plays a huge part with pairing with my contour and highlight, because it is sandwiched in between here. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Milani blush. This is the Very Amore blush. This blush does have a little bit of luminosity to it, so I really like that just to highlight my cheeks even more. So I'm going to go ahead and smile and apply that to my cheeks. Now on to the fun part, actually highlighting our face, or illuminating our face, or strobing our face, or whatever. So I'm using my Becca Jaclyn Hill Trio, highlighting trio. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the bronze shade, again on this fluffy brush, tapping it onto the side of the brush. So by doing this, I'm just gonna top my blush. This is the Blush Topper Copper shade. Copper, something like that. But anyway, so I just like to smile and slightly go over my blush here. So I just want my apples to have that slight glow, and it does add a little bit of bronze to my skin, which I really like. I think it makes me look a little bit more tan, a little bit more full of life, and giving that slight glow. So I currently can't find my fan brush. I don't know where. It's right there. Next, I'm going to highlight with the color in this palette, the Champagne Pop. If you guys don't have this highlighter, you need to get it before it's sold out. Such an amazing shade. Really love the tone of that. So I'm going to go ahead and take that on a fan brush, and I'm going to apply this to the high points of my face. So I'm going to start with the cheekbone here. So I'm just applying this, and I like to use the edges that don't have product on it as much and just kind of blend it out if there's a spot where I feel like it has a little too much. I do like to curve it in slightly here, because if not, I just feel like I have a line. So I like to kind of blend that in, so when I'm turned forward, I still have that highlight there. And then I'm going to go over the center, so I don't kind of just brush it over my mouth. Start with my cupid's bow, go over my lip, down to my chin. So I'm adding that highlight there. And then I like to highlight to my nose. I'm going to take the Pearl shade in this palette just to add a little bit stronger highlight to the high points. So the very, very high points. So right under my eye here, where most light's going to hit, just the ball of my nose and the cupid's bow. So I'm not taking the Pearl up my nose, I'm just keeping it on the ball. So I'm going to go ahead and add my bottom lash line and lipstick, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back. I got my lash line done, got my lipstick on, my face is put together, I feel a lot better, I feel like I look a lot better, and yeah. So as you guys can see, once I have my eye makeup on and my lipstick, it does kind of pull together the whole face, and you see that natural contour. Now, it doesn't look like a crazy contour. It looks more natural, like I have a prominent cheekbone, nothing too crazy. So as you can see, when I smile, my cheekbone is highlighted because we did add highlighter to our cheek. So the apple of my cheek is highlighted, but it falls back into our natural, it falls back into the high points of our face that are highlighted, and it does make our contour not look crazy. I'm looking at on my monitor, and sometimes when I look at people's contour, it's like, whoa, you're contouring, girl. But with how I do it, I feel like it's a little bit more natural, but it still has that definition because we still want to define our base. So I hope you guys enjoyed my tutorial. I hope it wasn't too confusing for you guys with the whole cool and warm and yellow toned and gray toned. And there's a science behind makeup. There's a theory behind makeup. Color theory plays a huge part in makeup. For makeup artists, I think it is an absolute key, a staple piece that you know. You can totally manipulate someone's eye color, make it look brighter, darker, shade it. There's so many cool things you could do with color theory, and it's not that hard, color theory. This man is looking at me and he's walking by and I don't want him to come to my door. You know, makeup has a real science behind it, and we just really want to know. He's gonna knock on the door. I feel like I should shut my blinds. I'm gonna shut. It's probably really dark now. I hope to see you guys all in my next video. Make sure you're subscribed so you can see my next video, and follow me on Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram. I'm posting dailies. I do work on photo shoots a lot, so I'm posting all those photo shoot pictures often. So it'd be awesome if you guys would follow me so you could see all that. So I hope I'll see you next time. Bye babes. Mwah.